Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Ep.3 NWO bringing you episode 3 of my Modern Warfare 3 gun comparison videos, and today we will be comparing the CM901 to the AK-47. Let's get right into the stats. Okay, so let's start with the CM901. As you can see, it has a very solid accuracy rating, a very high damage rate, pretty solid range, and a pretty low fire rate. Now, these two guns are very similar in a lot of ways, and I'll get into that more in the actual shooting clips. But the things you really need to look at on this one are the accuracy and the range, and then just recognize that the firing rate on both these guns is very low. Alright, now there's a lot to get into with the CM901, and a lot of you have probably seen Woody's Gamertag's video about the different fire rates and things like that. I'll get into that. I'm showing you here, I'm showing you the iron sights. They're a little bulky, but they're actually pretty open once you get aimed down, and you can see that it's a pretty solid burst of fire as far as the spray. Now when we switch over to the next gun, and also in there I showed you the full reload times. Now this, I'm just showing you here that it has an underslung attachment. You can use the shotgun or the grenade launcher. When you go back, nothing else has to change, but the fire rate is quite a bit higher. It's a lot faster. Now the spray does change a little, but you really don't lose a whole lot of accuracy, and you pick up a lot more fire rate. Okay, now we're going to move on to the optimal class setups for the CM901. There's really a lot of different ways to use this gun, and it kind of depends on how comfortable you are using this. I like to run either kick, or it really depends on my first perk. If I run recon a lot, then I will switch this to impact, because I can hit people through walls and paint them. Focus is a pretty good one, so you can reduce the flinch when you're getting hit. I usually stick with either kick or 2 attachments, but I will throw impact in there a lot if I'm trying to be a super team player. If I'm just running 1 attachment, then I usually either go with the silencer or the red dot. The red dot just kind of clears up the sight a little better for you. The silencer works well because at longer distances this gun still holds its damage well. You can run a lot of other things. I don't really see the need for extended mags with this gun because of the low fire rate. Secondaries, I typically run stingers or you know, some sort of launcher, because for some reason I seem to play more back with this gun than I do up. I don't rush a lot with it, so to go the same way with lethal, I usually run a Claymore or Bouncing Betty, flash grenades for sure. When I do play back, like I said, I like to run Recon. Recon Pro, if you hit anybody with a bullet or flash anybody or grenade anybody, they paint on the map, so that's an awesome perk. You can also run Sleight of Hand. The reload's not bad on this gun. Scavenger's okay too. On this one, perk 2 is always kind of iffy. I usually run Hardline with this if I'm playing back, because I'll use a support class and I want to call in everything really quickly. Assassin and Overkill really aren't needed. You could throw in Blast Shield if you wanted. Now I really love to run Marksman Pro on this gun if I'm running the Recon support setup. Stalker and Sitrep don't really affect me much when I use this gun, and I don't get into a lot of rushing situations, so I don't use Steady Aim or Dead Silence much. I tend to stick with Marksman. I would recommend using your support kill streaks, because if you play back more, you can really help the team out that way. Alright, now let's look at the AK stats. You can see it's almost a mirror image of the CM901. Decent accuracy, high damage, high range, low fire rate. The things I'll show you here in just a second where it changes. I believe the accuracy and the range are showed to be higher on the CM901. I don't usually find this the case in actually playing. It seems to me like the AK is the better gun. I'll get into that a little more in the class setups and in the shooting, but I really like the AK. Alright, now the AK has one of the best iron sights on the game. That's been kind of a staple for it in Infinity Ward games. The reload time is not bad, and it looks like it has a ton of recoil, but it's really not as bad as it looks on the screen. And it always goes in kind of an upward motion, so you'll get a lot of headshots with this gun as well. It's very powerful. Even with the silencer, it's a 3-hit kill at most ranges, so you can see that it's a pretty solid grouping, a lot like the CM901. Not really a whole lot of difference there. Alright, now for the optimal class setups for the AK. Again, this gun is very versatile. It's one of my favorite assault rifles on the game. It's a little tough to get used to at first when you're not used to that recoil if you've been using the SCAR and the ACR. I really like to run 2 attachments on this gun. I know it's kind of weird, and my thinking is a little weird on that, but that seems to work best for me. Kick would be a great one if you are having trouble with the recoil. Even though this gun is a slow fire rate, I like to run extended mags on it. I have no idea why I do that, but I seem to have the best luck with that. So that's something you can try out yourself. Since it does have a slow fire rate, you should be able to get away without running extended mags. You could run a sight and a silencer, or something else. But for me, the extended mags just kind of help me. I don't like having to reload, and that's kind of why I stick with that. On the secondary, I tend to rush a lot with this gun, more so than like the CM901, which doesn't make sense because the fire rate's about the same. But when I do rush, I like to stay off the map, and I like to go with a silencer on the FMG. That's kind of an underappreciated attachment. I run Simtex and Flash pretty much exclusively on rushing classes. Since I do rush quite a bit, I like to run sleight of hand. Another good one would be extreme conditioning to get in there quickly. If you find that you're running out of bullets a lot, you can go with scavenger, but since it does have a low fire rate, I don't tend to run out of bullets quite as often, but that is something to go with. I like to stick with sleight of hand most of the time, and more often than not, if I'm rushing really hard, I will go with hardline just because it makes it that much easier to get your kill streaks. Assassin's always good. Overkill's not really needed on this. Blast shield and quick draw, I would either go with hardline or quick draw if you're going to be rushing. In the third perk, steady aim is pretty much my staple. Marksman is a great perk for this gun if you are going to sit back a little more, because it has such a good power rating at distance. It's 3-hit kill at most ranges, even with the silencer. So Marksman would be a great perk for this if you want to use it. When I get up close more, I tend to run either steady aim or dead silence. Now for the strike package, you can really pick what you like. I like to go assault with this one. Alright, well that has been episode 3 of my Modern Warfare 3 gun comparisons. Today we compared the CM901 and the AK-47. The CM901 has slightly higher stats in accuracy and range, but for some reason I tend to have more luck with the AK, and that's the gun I kind of lean towards here. It seems to sit people down quicker for me. Now remember, there is that glitch, or whatever you want to call it, with the CM901, where the underslung attachment will give you higher fire rate, so that might be something you can play with. You can see the annotations on the screen here for my last episode, which was the ACR versus the G36C, and the next episode, whenever it comes up for what you want to vote for. Remember to go follow my Facebook page and vote for the guns you want to see next. And thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you next time.